Hello, my name is Carlos Ortega, and today I will be talking about the issues with personalized digital ads. What are digital ads? Well, online advertising has targeted individuals based on their personal data since 1994, and the way they cater their advertising towards each individual is based on your phone, search history, and voice data. They use your personal data for marketing purposes, with their main functions being informing and persuading their audience. Many people like using their phones, apps on their phones, voice assistants. It makes their lives easier, yet they ignore the tracking of their actions and the use of their personal data. And so in total, the app is seen as a net positive to many people. However, is it ethical for our phones to use our personal data and give them to our companies for personalized digital ads? There are four total stakeholders in this issue, with the two main stakeholders in the issue being the consumers and the advertisers. The consumers are important because they use the media or the technology, and since it is their personal data that is being collected and used for advertising purpose, and also because the digital advertising is personalized towards them, meaning that consumers see advertisements that are tailored to their interests and behaviors. Advertisers are stakeholders in this issue because they are the people who use the collected personal data to target their advertisements to the right audience, and they are important because the use of personal data is a significant source of revenue for many companies in the digital advertising industry. Another stakeholder group would include technology companies such as social media platforms, search engines, and data brokers that collect, store, and sell personal data to advertisers. Finally, the last stakeholder would be the regulators, who are responsible for protecting the privacy rights of individuals and ensuring that companies are using personal data correctly, with the main regulator being the Federal Trade Commission, or the FTC. ACT focuses on which action produces the most happiness and the least amount of harm to all involved. The good in this issue is that people get access to company services that otherwise are unavailable to them if they do not use their applications. Companies profit, which is positive since they provide the good services to the consumers. And moving on to the harm from this issue is that consumers have the personal data access, which is used to determine what type of advertisements they see, foregoing their privacy. Also, there is an increased risk of identity theft and fraud. Additionally, many social media companies handle user data poorly, including selling it to third parties without user consent. When looking at everything caused by accessing consumers' personal data, the bad clearly outweighs the good. And since most people are not benefiting, the harm caused is very significant in comparison. Therefore, it is unethical under Act for companies to use personal data to create personalized digital advertisements. An alternate view of the issue of using personal data for personalized digital ads is that it can actually provide a more positive user experience by delivering advertisements that are more relevant and interesting to the individual user. And advertisers would make this happen by using your personal data, such as search history, location, browsing behavior, and this will allow advertisements to resonate more with individual users. And an ethical perspective that states that it is ethical for companies to use personal data would be social contract theory, and that we can use it to analyze the issue by considering the agreements and expectations between individuals and companies. The agreement is that individuals may provide personal data to companies in exchange for access to companies' products and services, which allows both sides to win in allowing consumers to use services and in companies to gain profit. And since we agree with this, since we give them our consent, meaning they are not breaking the contract, neither are we. Therefore, under social contract theory, it is ethical for companies to use our personal data in creating digital advertisements for their consumers. So, in conclusion, what is the correct answer according to whether is it ethical or not? We got two distinct conclusions from looking at this problem from ACT and comparing it in an alternate view using social contract theory, in that ACT claims it is unethical while social claims it is ethical. However, ACT is the ethical system that offers the clearest answer for this problem. This is true because it takes into account the harms produced by having access to people's personal information, unlike social contract theory, which is not and only takes into account the social contract that society has agreed to. Overall, the social contract theory does not take into account all of the elements in this case. ACT clearly states how the harm of companies having access to individuals' personal data outweighs the potential benefit from the companies to the individuals. Therefore, it is unethical for companies to access their consumers' personal data to create personalized digital advertisements.